Hello, we are going to read this book. The title is Prairie School, and it was written by Avi. Avi is a well-known author, and she has written 60 books. The illustrations are by Bill Farnsworth. Look at the picture. Who do you see in this picture? What are the boy and the woman doing? Where are they? What do you think the relationship between the two of them is? When does this story happen? Do you think it happens today or in the past? This story takes place in the prairie. A prairie is a large grassland. The next 4 slides are pictures of prairies. Setting. Time. This story happens in 1880. At that time, the U.S. government, under the Homestead Act, sold land at a low price to people. Many families decided to move west to have farms, ranches, or to mine. Railroad companies built new train routes for travelers. Families had to build their own houses from dirt and grass and survive for 5 years on the land before it would become theirs. It was very lonely because the houses were far apart. And under here you can see 2 pictures. One of them is an advertisement to get people to come out west, and the other one is a stamp. And on the stamp there's a picture of a sod house and a man and a woman. This is a picture of a train traveling out west in the winter. It snowed a lot on the prairie. People had to dig the snow out for the train to be able to pass on its tracks. Look at the train. This is a steam engine. You can also see a man standing on top of the train. Can you imagine traveling in this train? The name of the house people lived in was soddy, or sod houses. A sod house had one room about 16 by 20 feet wide. It was made from squares of soil and grass, which were 18 by 24 inches. So they would dig up a rectangle of grass and pull it up from the earth with the grass and the roots hanging underneath and the dirt clinging to the roots. And they would use that as a building block for their house. They would stack these building blocks with the grass side down and the root side up. And they would make their house that way. The house had a dirt floor and it was fireproof, which was very important because when you live in a grassland and it gets really dry, fires are very dangerous. The soddy was cool in the summer and warm in the winter. Here's a picture of a sod house. You can see the walls of the house and the roof of the house are made from sod, or grass and soil. You can see a chimney poking up. You can see a stove on the side of the house. I see a wagon, and I also see a little animal. I don't know if that's a pig or a dog. What do you think? Here's another picture of a sod house, and you can see that the family all came outside and stood to have this special picture taken. Everyone is there. I see a mother, I see a father, I see another woman and some children. They have 2 horses and they have a cow standing on top of the house. It looks like the house is built into the side of a hill. And here's another picture of a sod house. I see the kitchen pots and pans are in front of the house. I also see that this picture was taken on August 4th, 1888 by S.D. Butcher. Can you see grass growing on the roof of this sod house? Here's another picture of a family sitting in front of their house. These houses were pretty far apart, so it could be very lonely to live on a sod house in the prairie. This is my last picture of a sod house. I see a father and 3 children. I don't see the mother. I also see that they have 3 horses, and 2 of the horses are going to pull a wagon. The family would use the wagon to drive into town to get supplies every once in a while, but mostly they could grow and make what they needed. Setting, or place. This story happens in Colorado. The family moved from Maine on the East Coast to Colorado in the West. Vocabulary for Chapter 1. Prairie, a large grassland. Sod house, a house made from dirt and grass. We just looked at some pictures of sod houses. Plow the soil, to prepare the soil for planting. Look, you can see a picture of a plow. Seeds, this is what you use to plant crops. Harvest, harvest means to get the food from the plants at the end of the growing season. Wheat, wheat is a grain that we use to make flour. Haul means to carry. Hearth fire, this is the fire in the house that is used for cooking and heating. Wander, to wander means to go for a walk, to explore, without any direction, just for enjoyment. Free as a lark, this means to have no responsibilities. There's a picture of a bird in the corner of this slide. That's a lark. A lark can fly wherever it wants. Finally, as much use as the stars. If you say something is as much use as the stars, it means it's of no use to you, no value to you. Chapter 1. The New Land. In 1880, the Bidsons moved from their worn-out farm in Maine to the new state of Colorado. There, on the rolling prairie, they built a sod house, plowed the soil, planted seeds, and harvested wheat. Noah, who was 9, helped with all the work. He hauled water and fed the animals. He made sure that the house was free of snakes and that the hearth fire stayed lit. Now and again he got on the horse and wandered over the land. Free as a lark, he came to love the prairie. One day Mrs. Bidson said to her son, "Noah, we're going to have a visitor." "Who?" asked Noah. "My sister, your Aunt Dora. I thought she teaches school back east." "She's coming to give you schooling." "Schooling," Noah said. "Don't I work as hard as you and Pa?" "Noah," said Mr. Bidson, "your Ma and I can hardly read or write. We want you to do better." Noah stormed out of the sod house. On the prairie he stared at the sky. "Reading is as much use on the prairie as the stars," he cried. That's the end of Chapter 1. I have 4 questions I'd like you to answer. First, what did the family do to survive on the prairie? Second, what did Noah do to help his family? Remember, Noah is the 9-year-old boy. Number 3, why is Aunt Dora coming to stay with them? Number 4, how does Noah feel about having reading lessons? Please go to Google Classroom to send me your answers. Thanks.